I just got done with the first chapter of Way of Kings, chapter 1, Stormblessed. Pretty good chapter, I must admit. I like it a lot. The first couple things I noticed. Firstly, very good description of the lack of knowledge that a person has about themselves. This guy who's starting this chapter, Sen, notices what's going on around in the battle, and that's not something that most people in this sort of a fragmented situation would do. And he stands strong as the enemies are like charging at him instead of running away. These things are the sort of things that you would look for in like a good soldier, so it makes sense that this sort of person would be desirable. Right? They also point out the secondary thing that Kaladin is recruiting people like Sen because they remind him of somebody, or at least that's what his head guard guy says. But it could be that these people are also just that his drive to find this person. It seems like the people that he is recruiting are also people who happen to be very good at fighting. In addition to this very basic, like, oh, the commander's really good, so he's good at teaching his followers, and he's good at commanding them on the battlefield with these interesting and unique tactics like the banging on the shield and such. Other than that, I think it's interesting that our main character's spear is longer than everyone else's. I wonder if that's supposed to be some sort of sign of damage, like that happens to the spear over time, but it also could work as like a metaphor for like he's overreaching himself. He's standing out because of he is uncomfortable with what he is wearing, right? Also, it's interesting that in this world, the light eyes seem to be the repressed class, where the dark eyes are like the noble god people or whatever. That's kind of an inversion of what normally is. Speaking of inversions, there's also the whole deal about, at the very end of the chapter, he says, like, who would want to fight the Almighty? And this is something I wanted to bring up with the Zeth story earlier. But it is clear to me that Brandon is likely some sort of Christian. I think I've overheard that he's like a Mormon, but I could be wrong, because the way he talks about divinities and gods and stuff. He talks about them as aspirational, oh, the Almighty, the Stormfather, these sort of monotheistic religions that are inherent in his work, I think. Also, it's interesting that in the chapter he said, like, oh, you don't want to waste a shard bearer on something like this, presumably meaning somebody who has a shard blade, but his captain is a shard bearer and they're putting him here, so you know. Either way, I'm very excited. Next chapter looks interesting. I've heard that Brandon likes to sort of jump around in his perspectives from chapter to chapter, be one character, next character, and be a while before he gets back. So I'm interested to see how long that will stay with this character, or when we'll come back to him if we don't stay with him for this chapter. Or this group of characters, I should say. Also, world building stuff that's cool. They got the spears. Spear and shield makes sense for like the low end people, but there's also those like rock bud things, and I really thought this is where they were going to introduce Peekaboo, because my friends keep telling me about this guy, but he's not here, and I'm very excited to see him be here. I've enjoyed the story. If you're enjoying these reviews, tune in tomorrow for chapter 2.
Like and subscribe now!